Hey guys, what is going on, and welcome to the introduction video of my new Let's Play Skyrim series. And for my last Let's Play Skyrim series, which you guys may know of, Let's Play Skyrim with way too many goddamn mods, there was a little bit of confusion because I didn't really ever thoroughly talk about all the mods that were in place in the game. I have a regularly updated mods list on my Facebook page that lists the current mods in my game, and I would link people to that whenever they asked what mods I was using. But a lot of people couldn't find it or couldn't find the notes section of the Facebook page, etc. So I wanted to do a little introduction video and sort of talk about the mods I'm going to be using in this new Let's Play. That being said, I can't really cover everything all the mods do, and I can't really even cover everything that even just the difficulty mods do, because there's just too much to talk about. And I'll give you a perfect example of why. When I first set out to do this video, I was going to actually go to all the mod pages and look up all the different modules and all the different things they all did and write it all up and talk about it and make this sort of scripted and written up and, you know, really nice. And I decided instead to just sort of talk off the cuff, sort of off the top of my head about it, because when I got to the Skyrim Redone mod page, the mod author himself said that the Skyrim Nexus page doesn't have a big enough capacity for him to type up everything that his mod changes in the game. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to cover this all in detail, in depth, in one little introduction video. So instead, I'm just going to quickly run through the difficulty mods, sort of in really broad strokes, and not really get into too much detail on what they do. So first of all, the biggest overhaul I have is Skyrim Redone. And it changes pretty much everything. It changes leveled lists, spells, completely redoes the perks, all new perk tree. It changes enemy combat. It makes them block more, attack more often. It makes them spread out and flank you. It makes them, for instance, it makes them attack you whenever you're staggered more often. Like, they'll look for that opportunity to strike then while the iron's hot, as they say. Stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it changes. It's a complete reworking of pretty much everything. It's probably the one that would be the hardest to cover in full detail, because it would take this entire video and more. I could talk about that one mod for probably a couple hours. So I'm going to just give you the basics, just what I told you. It completely reworks the perk tree. It changes the leveled list. It makes adjustments to items and weapons. Changes the difficulty a lot, makes the enemies more aggressive, much more aggressive. They'll work in packs. They'll kind of circle around you. They will attack more, block more, all that good stuff. So that's that one. Moving on, I'm going to try to keep this video short. That's why I'm sort of just, as I said, just briefly touching down on each mod that I think is important for you guys to know about. The next one, let's see, what else? Dual combat realism. Now, I'm actually using the Dual Combat Realism mod in lieu of the combat module of Skyrim Redone. Skyrim Redone has its own combat module, but I sort of tend to favor the Dual Combat Realism, the changes it makes, to that of the Skyrim Redone combat module. And that being said, there have been some fixes and some advancements in it since the last time I used the Skyrim Redone combat module, so it might be just as good as Dual or even better now. But anyways, I'm using Dual Combat Realism. Basically, completely reworks the combat, improves the enemy AI, their battle tactics, makes them, just as I said before with Skyrim Redone, makes them block more, attack more often, makes them much more aggressive. It also, like Skyrim, it also makes arrows and bolts much more powerful, and I think it makes attacks, unblocked attacks and power attacks, much more powerful. It basically just makes combat a lot more deadly. What else? We've got realistic lighting overhaul. I want a truly dark night experience where you have to use torches, and I know a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people complained in some of my older videos because they were too dark, and they're like, we can't see anything. But I hope you guys will bear with me, because I want a really brutal, dark experience, and I want the nights to really look like nights. I want to have to use torches. I want to have to be, you know, sort of scrambling to find my way. And plus, I've got another mod installed. what's it called? I forget what it's called, but it takes away the battle sound music when you encounter lowly creatures like skeevers and wolves and rats and stuff like that, so that you only hear the battle music, the combat music, whenever it's an actual threatening enemy, like a high level enemy. Like frost trolls, for instance, and stuff like that. So it'll be really cool, like creeping around in really dark nights. If you can just sort of imagine this atmosphere, you're sort of creeping around at night trying to find your way by torchlight, and you can barely see anything, and there's no combat music whatsoever, and all of a sudden something's biting you in the ass, and almost got you killed because there was no combat music to warn you. And I think that's really cool. I hated how there would be like combat music for mud crabs. I mean, really, it's like dun 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 dun. You're like, what is it, and you're all freaking out, and then you like look to your left and it's just a tiny little mud crab like slowly inching its way toward you, and you're like, that's just a fucking mud crab. So anyways, so that's gonna be different. I won't get any combat music warning for lower level creatures, so that's gonna be cool. I've got Hunterborn installed, which makes you actually have to take the time to butcher and skin and field dress animals you kill in order to get all the ingredients out of them, which is going to be really cool with a mod like Realistic Needs and Diseases, which I also have installed, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, because it will actually make you take the time to butcher and skin these animals rather than just giving you the ingredients immediately. And it actually makes time pass in game. And why that's important is because I have Realistic Needs and Diseases and Frostfall both installed, and so I'll have to gather a lot of pelts, and I'll have to gather a lot of meat to keep eating, because Realistic Needs and Diseases forces you to eat, sleep, and drink. So I'll have to actually, like, it'll create these awesome circumstances where I'll have to actually go out and like hunt down animals and like drag them back to the warmth of my fire by my campsite, because if I were to try to skin and butcher them out in the cold, the Frostfall mod would kill me. I would die of hypothermia. So it'll create, like, those three mods are really going to play well together, and I'm hoping that it'll create these really awesome circumstances in which I will have to actually like go out and hunt for food and like drag it back to my campsite by the warmth of the fire to butcher it and skin it there, because the Hunterborn mod makes it actually take time to skin and butcher the animals and all that. It's going to be so cool. At least I hope it's going to be cool. There might be a lot of glitches and bugs with this many mods and all that good stuff, but anyways, what else? I have a mod called Skills-Based Damage and Magnitude Multiplier. I feel like this is a pretty underrated mod, actually, because I really enjoy it. And basically, I was playing games like Chivalry, Medieval Warfare, and Overgrowth, where the combat is really fast-paced and brutal, and life and death is based on really split-second decisions, because in real life, you can't shoot someone in the head. Like in Skyrim, you can't shoot someone in the head with 12 arrows, and they're like running at you, still coming after you with like 12 arrows sticking out of their face. And I didn't really like that. I don't like the whole like hacking at someone for 10 minutes aspect of RPGs. I want it to be fast, brutal. I want every battle to be like, you either kill them or you're fucking dead, And so I wanted it to be like that, and so I was inspired by that, by a couple of other games, and I got this mod, Skills-Based Damage and Magnitude Multipliers. And what it does is it takes your high level skills, like say you've got a high skill in archery or destruction or whatever, and it makes those things, it multiplies the damage done by those things. So if you've got a high archery skill, it'll multiply the damage done by your bow and arrow. If you've got a high destruction skill, it'll multiply the damage done by destruction spells, and so on and so forth. Now what's cool about this is it also does this to all the NPCs. So if you run into an NPC that's got a high archery skill, or that's good with destruction spells or whatever, he might one-shot kill you, or he might hit you with just 2 blasts of flames and you're done. So it's going to be really fast-paced, chop, quick, brutal combat, and that's what I wanted, and I think that'll be really cool and really fun. So basically, in other words, and especially, I should say, especially at higher levels, like the higher you get in levels, the more these skills are going to be multiplied, if that makes any sense, by these people you encounter. So that being said, it should create, basically every combat situation should be like block or die, basically. If you get hit over the head with a sword or bashed in the head a few times with a mace in real life, you're not going to come away from it too well off. So I wanted it to be just a bit more realistic in that regard. Actually, I think coming up here is a perfect example. Yeah, right there. Somebody just hit me in the back once and I died right there. Anyways, this footage, I just sort of randomly played the game a little bit because I knew there was no way I was going to be able to get footage that related to everything I was going to be talking about, especially since my dialogue right now is just completely off the top of my head. Nothing planned or written, so I kind of just ran around the game and did some stuff and recorded it, and now I'm talking to it. But anyways, okay, so there's that mod. I talked about Hunterborn. Oh, realistic needs and diseases. My character is going to have to eat, sleep, and drink to survive. So I will be forced to actually seek out the comfort of an inn and sleep, or find, an abandoned bed at a bandit camp or whatever, or build my own, because I actually have the craftable physics enabled bedrolls mod and all that good stuff, and I have I think a couple other camping mods, and then Frostfall. So I'll be able to actually craft my own bedrolls and camping sites and stuff, and sleep, or just find like I said, go rent a room at an inn. But yeah, I will have to eat, drink, and sleep. You can also drink from streams, which is really cool, and I think you can even bottle water. If you have empty bottles, you can bottle them at streams, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, so there's that, and that's going to be really cool. And especially, I was going to say, this kind of goes hand in hand with that, I also have realistic room rentals. So not only are all the inns going to be different prices depending on what location you're seeking out a room at an inn, but they'll also be a lot more expensive to rent a room, and you can rent a room for more than just one night as well. So that's going to be really cool. Let's see, what else here? What else? Oh, Deadly Dragons, Mighty Dragons, and Dragon Combat Overhaul. I have them all installed, all working together. Hopefully they'll play nice together. I think Dragon Combat Overhaul is not completely 100% compatible with Mighty Dragons. So there might be some issues, because Mighty Dragons makes the dragons so difficult, and then if the dragons start doing things because of Dragon Combat Overhaul, like flying away to regenerate health and then coming back, it might be a little bit too much, too difficult, nigh on impossible even. So I might have to uninstall one of those or tweak one or something. But basically they all make dragon combat harder. I remember I was a little bit disappointed with the dragons in vanilla Skyrim, I'm going to be honest, and I remember a quote by Todd Howard before the game was released. He was saying, "These dragons are going to be tough. When you see our dragons, we want you to go, oh shit, and run in the other direction." And I never did that. I never felt that way. I never felt like dragons were going to be much of a challenge at all. I never really felt truly challenged by them. And plus, they're supposed to be these really fearsome, mythological creatures that, of legend or whatever in the Skyrim universe. So I wanted them to reflect that. I wanted their behavior and their difficulty to reflect that. So I've got those, Deadly Dragons, Mighty Dragons, and Dragon Combat Overhaul. I won't get into too much to what they all do, but I will just say they should make especially Mighty Dragons. Supposedly this mod, you're not even supposed to try to fight your first dragon until you're at least level 15, and people, the users that have tried it on the Nexus page have said things like, "Just ran into my first dragon, took me 3.5 hours to kill," or just had my first dragon fight, killed 20 guards and 12 townsfolk, and killed me 10 times. And I mean, it sounds really, really intense. So I've even heard of a couple people like taking almost all day to defeat the first dragon, which is almost sounds like it might even be too much, right? But we'll see. If it is too much, if it seems like it's just ridiculous, I might step it down, because there are different modules of the Mighty Dragons mod. You can step it down to like slightly Mighty Dragons. Then there's also like super Mighty Dragons, and then there's like, I think even one maybe above that. But anyways, yeah, so there's Mighty Dragons. Another thing I forgot to mention with Skyrim is that it scales higher level enemies all the way up to 100. I'm not sure how it works with default, but with Skyrim it like lets them scale all the way up to level 100. So this should make for some really intense fights. And then I also have killing traps, which makes all the traps deadly. So like no more getting hit by a giant swinging steel gate with spikes and just having it take off like an eighth of your health or something. This time it should be absolutely deadly. I mean, the traps will kill, so you've got to really watch out for that. Let's see. I've got no fast travel whatsoever because of Frostfall. I have to walk everywhere I go, and because of that, I've got a mod installed called Better Quest Objectives. Because, like, take Morrowind for instance. In Morrowind, it didn't really give you couldn't fast travel, and it didn't give you map markers and all that stuff. So you had to actually have sort of like directions on where you were supposed to go, and you had to remember them or read them, to find out where you needed to go. It would tell you, head to the shrine that's right next to the blah 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 southeast of some town, and it would actually give you sort of like directions to get there because you didn't have map markers and fast traveling and all that stuff like you do now. And since I no longer have fast traveling in my game because of Frostfall, because I play Frostfall in hardcore mode, I got this mod called Better Quest Objectives that will sort of emulate the Morrowind experience, where supposedly, anyways, I haven't really checked it out in game, but supposedly it actually sort of gives you directions so that if you read the quest objective, it'll sort of explain to you how to get there. Hopefully, that's the idea, anyways. Let's see what else. Oh, this one sort of goes hand in hand with the realistic needs and diseases. I've got Place to Sleep. Place to Sleep is a mod that takes all of the bedrolls and various beds in the world of Skyrim that you should logically be able to sleep in, but for some reason can't. Like if you've ever gone to a bed and it said, cannot sleep in an owned bed or whatever, but you knew the bed, there's no logical reason why it should have been an owned bed. Things like that. It goes around the entire world of Skyrim and takes all of those beds that you should logically be able to sleep in and makes you able to sleep in them. That mod should go really nicely along with the realistic needs and diseases mod. Let's see, did I talk about Frostfall? I think I might have briefly mentioned it, but I don't think I described it for you guys that might not know what it is or what it does. Frostfall is basically a hypothermia camping and survival mod that it tracks your exposure rating, and you have to actually wear warm clothing. Like if you're in a really northern region, frigid region of Skyrim, your exposure rate will increase much more rapidly, and you'll have to actually like build campfires to warm up and camp for the night, and wear warmer clothing and cloaks and stuff, or else you'll freeze to death. Basically, this includes like swimming in frigid water, can kill you pretty quickly, stuff like that. So, and that'll be really fun and should be make for quite a challenge. So there's that one. That's gonna be fun. What else? I've got a mod called Diseased that supposedly, I guess, makes the diseases much more deadly, and actually makes them progress and like evolve as you go, so you have to get it taken care of fairly quickly on, and that should be pretty interesting. I've got Sky Realism, realistic carry capacity and weight, or something like that. I might not have gotten the mod name just right on that, but this is one I don't know if I'm going to be able to leave installed, hopefully, but it might be too difficult in play. In theory it sounds cool, but basically what it does is it makes your carry capacity realistic. So like if you've ever wondered how you were able to carry like 3 full sets of heavy armor and 40 swords or whatever, you will no longer be able to do that with this mod. Your carry capacity will be about what it would probably be, sort of ish in real life. So you have to actually like craft backpacks and bags and pouches and stuff. Like it requires backpack mods and bandolier bags and pouches mod just to even work properly, and you have to craft backpacks and pouches and stuff to increase your carry capacity. And I thought that sounded so cool, but then I tried it out for a second in game, and because of the Hunterborn and realistic needs and diseases mods, I had to skin and butcher an animal that I killed, right? And I picked it up to take it back to the campsite, and I was immediately over encumbered. So I don't know, and the time it would take me to get back to camp with the Frostfall mod would kill me in the time it would take me to get back there, because I would freeze to death in that time. So I don't know, that might be overkill, you know what I'm saying? That might be too much. I might have to uninstall that one. So we'll see. I'm gonna try it though, but we'll see. But like with a lot of these mods, I don't really know if it's gonna be too much, too brutal, too game breaking, too just like that mod, for instance. So we'll just kind of have to see in game how it all functions. I think it's going to be really fun and really brutal, and I'm really excited about it. But some of the mods might be a little bit overkill, or a little bit overboard, and we might have to remove them. But we'll see how we go when we play. What else? I think that's about it on the difficulty mods. Let me think here. No, there are a couple of other things I need to mention that I almost completely forgot. Asus, for one, is a mod that I have installed that it takes perks and spells, right, the NPCs normally wouldn't have in the game, and distributes them out to all the NPCs in the game. And this includes spells added by mod packages, like mod spells, right? Which is awesome because I have like Apocalypse spell packages and the Skyrim School of Witchcraft and Wizardry and some like old Morrowind spells and Midas spells in Skyrim, and I think maybe even like 3 or 4 more spell mods. I have quite a few spell mods, and what Asus is going to do is actually take all those spells and distribute them out to the NPCs, where the NPCs normally wouldn't have mod spells. And it's going to give them based on their level. So like at higher levels you'll see more intense, like you'll see NPCs probably using crazy ass spells toward like the later parts of the game that they wouldn't normally have and probably shouldn't have in the vanilla Skyrim, because I mean eventually they'll, you know, at higher levels they'll probably have mods where they're like shooting giant chunks of earth at me or some crazy shit. I don't even know. I mean, but that's exciting. I can't wait to see that actually, and I think it's going to be hilarious. If it works. I mean, with this many mods installed, I mean, things just might, you know, the game might explode at that point and just poop out and say, I'm done. I'm not going to do anything anymore. Or crash a lot. I don't know. We'll see. But it should be pretty fun. I'm excited about it. Yeah, and it also adds, I was going to talk about this, Asus also gives the NPCs perks that they wouldn't normally have. So they have, like, perks like you do and stuff like that. What else? Oh, it also adds increased spawns. So normally when you go to a bandit camp there might be, I don't know, 4 or 5 guys. There might be, with this with Asus increasing the spawns, there might be 10 instead, you know. So, and it does that with, I think it does that with creatures and stuff too, so, but I'm not really exactly sure how that works. Again, all going off the top of my head here. I didn't want to sit down and type up little details about each mod and take like a whole week just to type up a bunch of stuff about them and then sit here and read a paper about them and make a 2-hour-long video going in depth on each mod. I mean, who would even sit there and watch that thing the whole way through? Maybe some people would, I don't know, but I just figured that probably wasn't going to work out. So, oh, another thing about Asus that I almost forgot to mention, it gives the NPCs the ability to drink potions during combat on the fly. So like you'll be fighting a guy and you've got him, you know, maybe his health whittled down 3/4 of the way, and he'll just chug a healing potion on the fly during combat as needed, and you know his health will shoot back up a little bit, making it just that much more difficult. That's another really cool thing about Asus. Let's see, is that everything? I know there's stuff I'm forgetting, guys, I just know it. But that's all I can really think of off the top of my head. Just for fun, I'll mention I've got a mod that lets you actually be a bard. It lets you actually play instruments in inns and earn money and earn a reputation. That's gonna be fun. There are so many mods I want to talk about, guys, but I got to keep this to the difficulty mods because I think that's, and the large overhaul mods, because I think that's what people are really gonna mainly want to know about when they watch my upcoming Let's Play series. Is they're gonna want to know, well, why are you getting one shot killed, and why did that dragon take 3 days to defeat? No, I don't think they'll take that long, but you know what I mean. So I wanted to talk about the difficulty mods and let you guys know sort of what was up with that. And yeah, this video is already getting pretty long, so I'm going to go now. But remember, there is going to be a link in the video description right below to my full regularly updated mods list if you want to see all of the mods. And if enough people request it, I might make another video that talks maybe about the immersion mods I have, or the armor and weapons mods that I have installed, or something like that. I just didn't want to make a video that's like 2 hours long and literally goes into every type of mod I have installed, because it would have been ridiculous. So that's it. Oh man, I know I was talking really fast, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. I felt like I had a lot of stuff to talk about, and I didn't want the video to get too long. So I hope I did okay. I was just rambling. I'm gonna listen to this now and feel like an idiot. And but anyways, thanks for watching, guys. You're really supportive. You're awesome as always. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, send me hate messages, start a flame war, poison my water supply, troll my comments page, whatever you want to do, man. And yeah, I will be starting my new Let's Play series for Skyrim that I'm really excited about very soon. So thanks for watching this little introductory video, and I'm going to send people here whenever they ask what mods you're using, and they can sort of watch this if they want to, and then go to the Facebook page if they want to read more. And that's it, guys. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.